Welcome back to another lecture in the Python Essentials series for data science. In this lecture, we learn how to create functions and lambda expressions. Now, functions in Python is a way of grouping together repetitive lines of code. They are used for grouping same lines of codes under a common name. So when basically you call the function, whatever lines of codes were stored under the function will get executed. So when we are writing scripts, there will be a lot of times when we have to use certain lines of code again and again. So instead of writing them over and over again, I can just put them inside a function and use them when needed. So it basically becomes some sort of tool which can do a specific task as and when called. So how do we declare a function? I'll start with the keyword dev and give a name to the function. You should be sticking to the rules of giving like naming variables. So I gave because I want to first, I gave it underscore calci, and because two numbers, so say num1 and num2. Put a colon. Now after you put a colon and you pressed enter, you get a tab when you are writing the lines of codes to be executed which is falling under this. So here num1 and num2. So our function has got total calci, pass here 20 and pass here 80. This 20 will be and 80 will be. So here it's going to have 20 and 80. Store the result inside answer and it's going to should be printing 100. Okay, now I want to make a call again to this particular function, but this time I will be sending the values as 40 and say 80. So the same process happens whenever it sees the name of the function, the call goes here and num1's value gets substituted with 40 and this num2's value with 80. The entire step is executed and we should be getting the result as 120. Clear? So this is basically the main function. Now it's not necessary to have arguments always in functions. I could have had just like this also, say calculate total 1, and I'm not passing anything as argument. Maybe I'm accepting values here. So do you remember the input function I had discussed in my previous lecture? We are going to use the same input function here. So I'll say enter first number. Now in my previous lecture I had discussed whatever you take as an input is actually a string. So we need to convert it, and this is typecasting, which was also dealt with before. So whatever you enter as an input is a string. I have converted here with a typecasting to integer value and stored it inside num1. This is your num2. Same typecasting. Take an input, enter second number, so now I need to find the sum. So I'll say answer is your num1 plus your num2 and I'll print the result. Okay, so we just need one bracket here. Clear? Okay, now let's call this function calci and total 1. There were no arguments, so we are not going to pass any arguments here and execute. So it comes here, and because it's an input, so it's asking us to input a value. Say I put here 30. Now it comes here, the second value, say I put here 60, and I get the result as 90. What if I had not done typecasting here? You can check it out yourself, but I can give you the answer right now, because this, if you don't do a typecasting and convert this to an integer, it's going to be a string. Even this will be a string. So if we had taken 30 and then 60, so it's basically going to join it, concatenate it, because two strings are always joined, they are not added. So because I didn't want that kind of thing to happen, I did the typecasting here and converted it into an integer value. So I'm getting a value output here. Now what if in the same example out here we had the two variables, but I want to give a default value. So I'll just copy paste it. Here. Now I want to give a default value of num1 as 20, and I want to give a value of num2 as 90. Okay. Now if when I'm calling the function and say I don't pass any value, but this function is expecting from you two values, see what happens? It will take the default values what you have specified here, or these are the constant values. It's going to find the addition, all these values, all these statements will get executed, but with the default value, with the similar steps what it does. So I'll declare here a function called accept details, where I have first name and last name. These are your parameters. Now I want to give here I can take the input here. It's first name input, I would request those people who are doing programming or coding for the first time and following the tutorials, they should be doing hands-on either with me, or you can rewatch the video again and be hands-on, because being hands-on will actually give you the practice and confidence in programming. If you just watch, it's going to be of no use. So this is my second value where I'm going to store my last name or surname, whatever. So here I can print first name is, remember this format discussed in the previous lecture, last name is, and then we had given the use the format function where we had passed first name and last name. Now if you want the first name, we had discussed in the previous tutorial functions like upper, lower. So if I want my this first name, whatever you're passing, to be sentence case, that means it should be the first alphabet should be capital. So I can just write here title. This converts the first letter of the word into capital. Okay, so we executed this. Now let's call this function accept details, and let's pass here say John and maybe say Andrews. So it's coming here, say I passed here ABC, I passed here say this name. So this first name is ABC and last name is, okay, so why did it pass Andrews? Because see here, Andrews was taken as your default value, but here I have stored the variable, this whatever you've passed inside second name, but here I have tried calling last name, which is why it is printing Andrews. So we will be passing here second name. So you can see here, now it is passing, it is printing the values what we passed. Now this first name and last name and these values what you're passing here, they are the positional arguments. Positional argument means if you're passing John, this John is going to replace the first name, not the last name. Why? Because it is the first argument what you passed here. So it's position 1, so it replaces the position 1 parameter out here. This argument is going to replace position 2. Now this particular function was expecting from you some kind of parameters to be sent. So what happens if I'm trying to call this function without passing any parameter? So I will be getting this kind of error, which is a type error. Now always whenever in Python you execute a function, just try to see the last line or the type error what you are getting. It tells you mainly the real cause of the error in your program. So here my accept details missing 2 required positional arguments, first name and last name. So I'll go back here. Okay, so I needed to pass here some kind of parameter. I'll go back to the function. Yes, it requires from you certain parameters which I did not pass here. That's the result. I got this error. I didn't get it here because I had passed my parameters in this particular function call. If we are declaring functions, say we declare a function as this name and we passed some values, say I passed here num1, num2, but I feel that I might need to pass some more values when I call it. So just put an asterisk and give any name to that variable after the asterisk. So here I can name it as say num3 or nums, not to get confused with variable names. So here what I'm doing is I can just print num1, or I'll just write here values are, and call your num1, num2. Okay, so when I call the function, say I pass here 20, 70, 80, 90, 120. This was nums. Okay, you can see here it was actually take parameters, argue values you want to. So here values. So here what happens, 20 for num2, these values are for the extra values sign. So the values here, whatever extra values you can spare. This is also a function where we can pass values or extra values if needed. One very important use of function is when it is return type. Say we declare a function where we are passing num1 and num2. We'll find the addition of the two numbers passed, but we'll return wherever the variable value, wherever it is storing it. Now when we call a return type function, say we passed here 20 and 80, and I will be storing the result, say in the variable answer, and I can print this. Now what's the use of this? The use is, if I wanted to do further calculations, so whatever answer you got, I want to add with that 100 more. Clear? So result returned was 100. Again it came here, it took the 100 value, it added 100 with it. Now what's the new result value of answer? It's 200. So we got 200 here. So you can do further coding, or you can do further evaluations when the function is returning a value instead of just being a print statement. Help of string methods, what we had already learned in the previous lecture. So let's make a function which will accept a string and count the occurrence of word. Okay, now we'll start the function definition with def, and we'll call it word count. Here will be my string variable, you can name it anything, and the word what you want to count. So here my string list will be the string variable whatever you have passed. I need to split wherever words have spaces, so I'm going to split the string wherever spaces are there. So just leave one character space here. And I'll have a variable called frequency, which will be inside this string list. I will count the word frequency, whichever this word what you're passing here. It's going to find out this word and count the frequency and store inside this variable. So in the end, what do you want to return? I want to return the word frequency. So here I have made basically a string, a function which is going to accept from you a string and the word which you want to count inside this particular string. But first I need to split the string wherever spaces are there, so I can separate out the words, and I store it inside a string list. Basically the string list will be a list or a tuple which is going to store the words separated by commas. Then I will enter the string list what I got here, and I will count the occurrence of this word. This word is the word what you wanted to look for inside the string, and that frequency is stored here. So we return that word frequency. So when I am calling this particular function, I just made a statement, a random statement I passed, and I want to look for the word good. So it's going to return the frequency count, right? So I will need a variable where it will be storing the value, whatever it returned from here, and I will print the returned variable value. See, the word good was occurring in the string twice, so answer has the value of twice. I think it's easily understood now that how to use a return type function and how to use functions which are not return type or are just statements grouped together under a name. So when we want to call these kind of functions, we just pass the parameters without a return. We are not storing the values. The next topic what I want to discuss today is lambdas. Now are doing a function, but they are called anonymous functions and expressions. They are expressions, they are not statements, but used extensively Okay, so they do some limitations. Only single need the def keyword when we are making a lambda expression. So how do we do it? We just have to write lambda and what this x, so this x is basically, and I want to multiply power of 2. So this result inside f, here f 2 is going to be 4, so you are 2 times, so we get this is your lambda. 2 or 3 values also inside the expression. Say I have lambda x, y and z, and I want to multiply x, y and z, and say I'm storing the result inside f1. So when I call f1 and I'll pass here say 2, 3 and 4. So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6 and 6 multiplied by 4 is 24. So you can see a very short way of doing calculations and just simple expressions we are writing and getting the work done. Some people, if you have used macros before, you can correlate it somewhat like macros. Very little comparison you can do with C or C++ macros if you have done it before. Those who are beginners, those who don't have any idea about programming, you just get this particular concept that lambda is basically an expression where we pass any value, any argument what we need and what that argument is supposed to do. So this is your argument and this is the expression, and stored the result inside this particular variable. So when I call it, it's going to execute whatever was mentioned in the expression.